will take 2 pieces of 6.5 by 9.5, I believe, is the size of the 2 pieces that we're going to start with. And you'll need 1 piece of batting. And then you'll need a ribbon part
that goes down,
that makes it look like a
gift.
Mm-hmm. But it's optional. You don't have to do that if you don't want to.
It is darling.
But I think it really adds a lot. So what you do first is you're going to cut your 2 pieces, and you're going to cut your batting, and then you're going to take also your piece that goes down the center of it. I have put Heat and Bond Light on the back side of the ribbon. You will peel that off, and you will apply it to one of your front pieces. So I will go ahead and I will fuse that down. And I will tell you, if you want to make it in the center, you can either measure it, you can eyeball it, or you can do it in half, figure out where your half is, and then put it in the center.
But if you eyeball it and you're off and your friends tell you
no one's going to even know.
Give them that tea towel, and they are not coming over to tea anymore.
Because the bow is going to cover it anyway. So I'm going to adhere that with an iron to the front part of one of my pieces.
Okay.
So this piece now is what I'm going to be working with. I'm going to take a piece of batting, and I am using Kimberbell batting. I actually cut my piece bigger.
Which is a good tip.
Which is what, bigger than what it tells you on the instructions. And the reason why is when you quilt it, it does kind of shrink just a little bit. So depending on how much quilting you're going to do, I just did, you can see, I just did straight rows with the quilting. And then, or on this other one, I'll show you how I did this. You could even applique the ribbon on. You could use some fun decorative stitches. You can just kind of play around with different colored threads. You can, so that you get to see the quilting on it.
Yes, I love this quilting, the diamonds.
Yes,
the diamonds on the other one.
On
this
this one, I just did a crosshatch on the diamonds. I used my straight edge, and I drew a line on the diagonal, and then I used the quilting bar to do all of the lines, and which I think it's really cute. And all I did down here is I put a cute little zigzag stitch.
Oh, cute.
And I actually matched a little bit, but it would be fun to use decorative threads or anything like that. So then I will go ahead and you will quilt it however you want to do. You could
also do embroidery.
Is
that where you were going?
Yes. I said.
Did you guys see that? We had a mind meld here.
So you could use your machine if you have a machine that has IQ Designer or PE Designs or
your clear blue tiles is what I was thinking.
Or you can do clear blue tiles.
That would probably be one tile, maybe 2.
Or I'm sure we all have, if we're machine embroiders, we all have quilting designs that you can use as well. Yep. And you can just quilt that and quilt the whole top of it. So once I've done that, then I will trim. I'm going to trim the excess batting off, because then that makes it so that I know that it hasn't shifted or anything. Then I'm going to take my back piece. I'm going to put right sides together, and then I will sew a 1/4 inch all the way around and leave an opening for turning. So I want to make sure I back stitch in the front as I begin, and the back stitch as I end, so that it will secure those stitches. Also, all the way around, I will turn it, and then this is what it will look like.
It's so much
fun. So I am not hand sewing the opening closed either. So I'm taking it back to
No, we don't got time for that.
No, once I'm done, I press it really good, and then I do a 1/4 inch around the outside, or even an 1/8 of an inch. You can do it however you want to. You could even do a fun decorative stitch.
We don't even need to use our glue gun on this.
No, not at all. I can't believe it. Why would we want to use?
Why would we?
I know.
We got this.
Yes. So then we have this piece right here. So then from here, That's the top part. Now we have to we need to do a buttonhole if you want to.
Yes.
Right here, I measured it, and believe me, I really did have an issue with my buttonhole. So if you haven't done a buttonhole for a while, I would definitely practice. My machine just automatically does a buttonhole, but I think a snap would be darling.
A snap would be cute.
I put a cute little button on the top of this one.
I think the button's cute, though.
Which the button really adds. Now we're going to make the bow. Now I came across a couple things. In the pattern it tells you to cut it 4.5 by 22. Now sometimes our fabrics are not always, fat quarters are not, you don't get the full 22 inches.
No, you might get 20,
you might get,
20.
So therefore, I did not cut off my selvage, okay, because I wanted as much to be able to tie as possible. And in the pattern, it tells you to fold it in half. You'll sew 1/4 inch all the way down, and then you're going to turn it. Now, I took it a little bit different approach.
Oh, what'd you do?
If you really struggle with maybe your hands hurt as much, and you don't want to turn all of it at once, I actually started at the fold right here. And I sewed across here. I sewed down to about right here, left an opening. Then I resumed and went down, and at the end, I sewed off. So then I only had to turn half of here and half of the other one.
That is a great idea.
And so I actually liked that a little bit better, but you can try it however you want to.
And you really don't need to even top stitch it, because that middle is going to be in your knot.
Right. Then I'm ready to tie my bow. And I did also stitched around the whole thing to close that opening that I have closed. So you can kind of play around with it. Now, the reason why, then you just go ahead and tie a bow.
Yep.
That's all you need to do. Now, there's lots of ways you can tie a bow.
You did tie your bow?
I did tie it.
Here you go. You wanted to bow?
Yes.
Do fingers out.
Okay. Okay, here, we're going to show you a really quick way, but you have to have somebody with you. So this would be a fun friend.
A little bit closer. A little bit closer.
Okay, well, I didn't have a Cheri with me to tie my bow. Look how cute.
There you go.
Oh, did you just see that? Oh my word, that is the cutest thing, and it turned out perfect. Okay, so you've got to grab a partner.
Yes, a friend for your bows.
And there it is. You tie the bow, and you're going to put that on top. That's perfect.
Yeah.
All right, now you can sew your bow on, or you can hot glue it. Or I used fabric glue to close mine, but yeah. Anyway, so whatever way you want to do it to put that bow onto your thing. Now, here's the tricky part. Well, it's not tricky. This is how you get it all together. So we need to talk about how we get this going. So I've got my tea towel, and I'm going to fold it in thirds, or you can fold it however you want.
It probably depends on your tea towel.
Depends on your tea towel.
Some of them are going to be a little bit bigger.
Right. And so I folded, and I found my center, and then I find my center of my top part. I just fold it like this. That's good enough for me. Then I'm going to put right sides together, and I'm going to sew down the center to hold it. So then when I'm done, it's going to go like this.
I love that.
Isn't that so easy?
I love that it's not the whole fullness of the tea towel, too.
Yes.
It makes it look really
so
nice.
So you could go a little bit smaller. Now on mine, I actually wanted it to be a little bit wider. So I took a gathering stitch.
Oh.
And I gathered it a little bit right here to put it so that it
so it's another pinky up moment.
Yes, it was. Just to kind of do some fun things. But that's all there is to making this cute wrap it up tea towel holder. Isn't that fun?
It is fun. That is a great one.
So, all right, so that one was a lot of fun. All right, so the next one we're going to talk about is this hanging one. Now this is a very simple one, so you can actually get 2 out of 1 tea towel.
I love that about this one, because twice as much.
Yes, so you can cut, you'll be able to cut your tea towel in half. You'll use your serger.
Ooh.
So it will finish that edge really nice for those of you that have sergers.
What if I don't have a serger?
If you don't, it's okay. You can zigzag, use your zigzag stitch on your sewing machine and kind of finish that edge so that it doesn't fray. If your towel doesn't fray, then you're going to be okay. So there are a couple things that you can do. So you're going to take your pattern and you're going to have to tape the pattern pieces together. So it will come with this top part and this bottom part separately. So you will cut all that out and you will tape them together because you're going to want to cut 2 of these. So, and before you do that, you're going to take your fabric and you're going to prepare it by putting a fusible backing on the back of it.
So why would I do that?
So it gives it some stability for one thing, and it holds it. When you're doing your buttonhole, it's nice to have some stabilization there. It just helps it. It keeps it from puckering and doing all kinds of things. So I've put fusible backing on the back of mine, but before I did, it tells you in the pattern to fold up and
the bottom
the
edge.
Bottom edge. Well, it doesn't do this, but I did this because it was easier.
Yeah, I can see why.
Yes, because what you're going to do is you're going to put these 2 pieces together, right sides together, and you're going to sew all the way around, and then you're going to flip it, turn it in about an inch. But I didn't want to have to worry about that. I wanted to.
She cheated.
I did cheat. So I actually did my 1 inch.
That's a great tip. That is, write that on your patterns.
Yeah.
Everyone download that.
So then,
skip to step number.
yeah, so then I will put my 2 pieces together, and then I will go ahead and I will sew a 1/4 inch, making sure that you back stitch on the front and the back, the beginning and the end, go around. Once you're done with that, you're going to clip your inner seams
So
and
why
you're
do we
going to
clip
corners
the inner corners?
so that it will lay.
Okay.
So once you've done that, you turn it. Then it looks like this. So here it's ready. I've got it inside. It was really easy because I had my line that I had folded before, and then I don't have to fight with trying to get, because it's not a really big area in here. And then from there, all you have to do is attach your towel, and then decide if you're going to do a buttonhole, if you're going to do a snap, because I think a snap would be really
work
cute.
Really well here.
So this one I gathered. You could actually use your serger and you could gather it on your serger. You can gather it on your sewing machine. I gathered this one. This one I think would be really cute. You could gather or you could pleat.
Ooh,
I do love the pleats too. So I've just pleated mine so that it will fit into that opening.
I love that.
Then another tip that I found really helps is to put an adhesive on this side. So either fabric glue, or you could do a double-sided by Annie's double-sided tape.
I love that. I hadn't thought of that.
Yes. So
because I just use that for zippers. I can't use it anywhere else.
Oh, you can though. So you can actually put that in. You will put that in between. And this is where the glue would be really helpful. So you can attach that, take it to your sewing machine, and then you will sew close all the way around. And I would even go around twice to hold that.
Especially on the bottom.
Yeah. But there's kind of the difference between the gather and the pleats. So you get to decide.
That is cute.
So isn't that fun?
That is a lot of fun.
And these really work up fast, and they're really a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So
I can see.
Yeah.
And they look so professional.
Yes, they do.